Alright lads, a bit of news before I get started. So I'm going to need to slow down instead of uploading every day as I have been for the past few months, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day, on some very productive days. I started a new project management contract, so I'm going to need to slow down to about 2 or 3 times per week. I will keep the channel going, I will keep this house in order, and we'll keep having fun with it. So, yesterday was Karavic's turn. Today is Karador, Ghost Chieftain, Astrusian of Prague. Okay, right off. Karador is... he's not really hanging in Prague anymore. He's not quite up to the level the lads are playing at now. The new precons... And I said this to the genie. I played Karador once, and first turn I played Birchin. He was like, oh, wow, okay. CEDH, huh? I'm like... No, because I didn't have that many lands in my hand. I'm still playing Tribal Spirits. A lot of it's from Kamigawa, a lot of it's slow, and I lost that game. Even though I got out Survival of the Fittest, I got out Yevmai Hollow, I got out some of my expensive older reserve list cards. Didn't help. Because let's look at what Karador does. Right, he costs 8. He doesn't really cost 8 because I should have dead creatures in my graveyard by the time I go to cast him. So he should cost about 6, 5, sometimes 4. He costs 1 less to cast for each creature in my graveyard. During each of my turns I may cast one single solitary creature from my graveyard. That's it, one, and he's a 3/4. No evasion, no ward, nothing. Look at Voya. Voya costs 5. He's big. He's got Vigilance, Trample, Ward 3. So he's got Evasion, he's got Protection, and he does a lot more things. I keep thinking I should take apart Karador, but I also think I should have at least one deck that plays at a... I need one deck that's slow, need one deck that's objectively my worst deck in order to... play against newer players. So if I bring new players into the game, new players join us, it's nice that I have a deck that doesn't just steamroll them. A deck that is fun to play. I like Karador still. I've had it for a long time, and I had the art altered by my friend Ren, so he painted the samurai armor on Karador. He gave him a Naginata instead of the regular spear, and he also changed the set symbol to a Torii for me, like Kamigawa. So I like the feel of Karador. And going forward, as spirits evolve and we get new spirits, I expect the deck should improve. I expect that it'll get better, but right now it just falls flat sometimes. So let's look at what we have. So, land tax. Slow but reliable. And also, at a certain point, if I've drawn these extra lands, so at the beginning of my upkeep, opponent controls more lands than I do, I can go find 3 basics, put them in my hand, after showing them to everybody, and then shuffle. So, if I keep getting lands, and I keep playing a land per turn, other players are going to stumble, and I will pull ahead of them. So, land tax is a diminishing prospect, but in the early game it helps quite a bit. Should I push him back a bit? Can you still see him? Yeah, okay, that's good, so I can put land tax there. Oh, that glare is terrible. I'll put land tax there. Yeah, that's a lot better. Porti de Kamigawa. Porti de Kodama, not Kamigawa. So yesterday was Karavic, and you saw Karavic had a lot of German cards. Karador has a lot of French cards. I like French. Je parle un petit peu le français, mais pas très bien. And I just like it sprinkled with as much French cards as it is. I kind of stopped doing that with some of my newer decks because it's become a bit more difficult to get some of the cards I want in the language I want. And also the English copies retain more financial value. But Karador, even though his theme is kind of Kamigawa, Japanese, the language, supplemental language is French, because a lot of these cards, they're in Japanese. I would forget what they do. I would forget some kind of fine detail, and it would go really badly for me. Because if you play a foreign card, you better know what the hell it does. Like the genie found out when he played an Asian vampiric tutor, and I went to put it in sand, and then no. Vampiric tutor does not put the card in your hand. It's not demonic tutor. It goes on top of your library. Well, how do I know? I can't read the card. It's your responsibility to know what it is and what it does. Saying that, if you watched the Karador video, you saw where I forgot what Mock Infestation does for years. I thought it was Sacrifice. No, it's not. Okay, so let's go in. Muse Nez de Grand. So this is Seedborn Muse, au français, foil, 9th edition. During everybody else's untap step, I get to untap with them. Yay! And that's why I have a Winding Canyons in here, so I can untap with everybody and flash my stuff into play. Planes. So, again, the basic lands are often Kamigawa. I chose my favorite art. For the forest, it was a little difficult to choose the favorite. As for the swamp, with the plains, it was a little bit easier. I don't quite like the other plains as much as this one, even though they're all by Mr. Staples. Exploration. Play an additional land each turn. One set piece. Mirari's Way. Oh yeah, I do have a foil one. I forgot. I've got a flat copy in... who's got the Mirari's Wake? Kenrith? I think Kenrith has an MH2 Mirari's Wake and it's not foil. And I was looking and I thought I should get a foil one. Well, I already have one, so I don't need to get another foil. I would like to. It's beautiful. But I don't need to. So I've made a few changes to Karador in the past few months. I've not taken him out to test him. Oh wait, no I did. No I did. Nobody liked this guy. Everybody was pissed off. That's right. Oh, that was hilarious. Now that I remember it. So yeah, I did put Eidolon Redocrit here. And I got him out. And I was able to keep regenerating him with Yavimaya Hollow. And everybody was like... We had a nerd player, and he kept trying to cast multiple spells, and the genie came out. No, you can't, because of this bullshit Tony is playing. You can only cast one spell per turn, that's it. Good times. Yeah, there's my favorite swamp. I should get one of these in foil. I bet that'd be beautiful. Suture Spirit. Hirobi is in this deck. So Hirobi is not only a commander of one of my decks, he is in Karador's deck. So with Suture Spirit, if I have Hirobi and Suture Spirit in play, I can spend whatever combination of black-white I want, regenerate target creature, and Hirobi will kill it. Descendant's Path. So Eidolon of Rhetoric I played, and then after that, I believe I put the Descendant's Path back in. It was in a few years ago, and I took it out because it wasn't doing anything. And then I was thinking of ways to speed up Karador to make him more viable, to compensate for some of the slowness he has, some of his weaknesses. So I put Descendant's Path back in. So at the beginning of my upkeep, show everybody the top card of my library. If it's a creature card that shares a creature type with the creature you control, if it's a spirit, I may cast it paying its mana cost. Otherwise, it goes in the bottom of my library. And it's that beautiful Therese Nielsen art. It's just... If you like the art of the cards, I highly recommend you get foil or not. This has so much detail in it. It's just amazing. She really went all out in this piece. And you Solar, Soul Ring, Forest, Baranakami. Whenever I play a Spirit Arcane spell, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Cost 5 for a 3/3 Spirit. These days he'd cost what? 4? 4 maybe? Maybe 3 if they're really pushing it hard. Jesus, power creep. Glaciers Indiga. So Thawing Glaciers. Arrival, Injude, Engaji. So Thawing Glacier comes play tap. When you can untap it, you can spend 1, tap it, go find a basic land, put it into play, and it bounces back to your hand in turn. This is slow but reliable. Really good with burgeoning. Any of the videos where I show off Dawn Glaciers, if it's in a green deck, I always mention burgeoning because those cards go really nicely together. Spirit of the Hearth. I can't be the target. Spells, abilities, your opponent's control. But Bog targets the opponent, targets me. So if I've got this key spirit, you can't Bog my graveyard. What else can't you do to me? You can't, most of the other things kind of blanket. Damnation. Oh, you can't target me with any of the bullshit that Grayson Starn is doing. Can't target me with Drain Life. What else? What else typically targets me? Targets me as a player. Not a whole lot, but mainly it's just because I can't think of it right now. I'm sure there's a whole lot. That's why I never take that guy out of the deck. Vindicate, destroy target permanent. And of course, Edgar Markov has Vindicate Guy. Drugs for Reinforcements, a new edition that I haven't seen him play yet. Other spirits I control have melee, and it prevents all non-combat damage that would be dealt to spirits I control. No Starstorm, I think that's the name of it. That red spell that costs X, does X damage to all creatures. No Blasphemous Act. I'm trying to think of other mass damage. Oh, Grayson Starn. It completely shuts him down. Other, though. No. No. Prevent all non-combat damage with Delta Spear. Ooh, he does himself. I should learn to read the cards one of these days. I should learn to read the cards and think about what it does. Wow, that guy's pretty goddamn cool. Plains. Couture. So, French. I've got a French Kodama's Reach. I'm going to have a French culture. That's just the way it works. Life Spinner. Sacrifice 3 spirits, search a library for a legendary spirit card, and put into play, then shuffle. Let's set him to the side. Plains. So here's Hirobi. Here's the original Kamigawa Hirobi. For my Hirobi deck, of course, I chose the, what is it? Mystic Guest. Special Treat. Tijuana Twister version, whatever the hell it is. I chose the Mystic book version because I wanted to show that it was different. It's a different deck. The idea is that the deck does not need Hirobi. I don't run Hirobi out as quickly as possible and start killing things. The deck should run on its own, and Hirobi should only come into play when it's warranted. Just like with Karador. So he's got Hirobi as one of his minions. Whenever a creature becomes target of spell or ability, kill it. 4/4/4 for flying. That's still efficient, right? Even with power creep? I don't know. Nature's Lore. Go find a forest, put it in the battlefield, shuffle. Eternal Dragon. I remember this card used to be really popular, really sought after, and now it's not. Not at all. 7 for 5/5 Flying Dragon. Jeez, that doesn't do anything. He just flies. And he looks cool. That's it. These days, it'd be like 4. 4 for that ability. Maybe 5. And then he'd have flying, first strike, lifelink, protection of demons and dragons, wouldn't he? Yeah, Baneslayer Angel. Jesus Christ, that's... And she's not worth anything. Nobody plays with her. My God, they've got to slow this fucking power creep down, ratchet it back, have a few Kamigawa-like sets, and reset the expectations of players. But they won't, because there's not a whole lot of money in that. But if they did it with one set, and then didn't immediately jump back into it for the follow-on set, in order to realign people's expectations, in order to lower the bar to a more reasonable level, I think that'd be a good idea. We'll see if they do it. So anyway, he can also come back from your graveyard to your hand, by spending 5 during your upkeep. And you can plane cycle them. You can spend 2, throw them away, and go find a plane. And then spend 5 during your upkeep to put them back in. Jesus Christ, that's a lot of mana. Swamp. Verdant Catacombs. Ethereal Absolution. I'm thinking about rebuilding Taste of Tokens. I used to have a Taste of Ores of Scion, Black-White Cleric Tokens deck. I thought about rebuilding that because we've got an empty slot. Taking Zami out of my pantheon of decks for Prague, taking her out of the storage of Prague decks and putting her into her own special deck box that I would take to Ostruzhna. I've got a hole in box number 1 and I want to fill it. I'm not sure what I'm going to fill it with. I'll have a video where I talk about that because I want your advice. I want to see what you lads think of my ideas. I'll probably get to that Wednesday. Now that I've started this new job, I don't know when I'll get to it. Anyway, Torch of Existence. 1 black for this enchantment. Black. Choose and throw away a creature card. Return target creature card from graveyard to your hand. So this is in here. Somebody's going to exile one of my creatures, or if they're just something I want back to my hand, it's kind of a... So, Survival of the Fittest. You throw away a creature card, and you search a library for a creature card to put in your hand. This is the same thing, but for your graveyard. This is Survival of the Fittest for your graveyard. And it costs only 1 black for a survival cost. 1 colorless, 1 green. Temptation. Oh, give in to the temptation. I'll tempt you with discovery. And, you know, like I always say, there's the one guy, don't do it. There's the other guy, I really need the land, I'm going to do it. And there's the middle guy, they can go either way. So if the don't do it guy convinces the I don't know guy, then the I really need the land guy, he'll go do it. So at worst, I play this, and if I don't have either piece already, I'll go get Cabal Coffers and Urborg Tomb of Yawgmoth. Get both of them and play at the same time. That's fair for 4 mana, that's pretty damn good. But if the middle guy says I need a land too, then the guy says don't do it. He's just going to say, oh, you assholes, and do it too. So I get 4 for 4. Beauty. I love that card. Arashi, the Sky Asunder. I don't know if I've ever actually had him in play. I really don't. I can't remember any time where he would have mattered enough to be memorable if I had him in play. And I also don't think I've ever channeled him. I probably have had him in play when, and I'll show you with this when it comes out, but only as a side effect of something else. I don't think I've ever actually cast him on his own for who he is, which is a 5 mana 5/5 that I can kill flying creatures with. Long Forgotten Gohai. I forgot I had this in the deck. So anyway, cost 3 arcane spells. I play cost 1 less to play. I don't have a lot of arcane spells. There aren't that many good ones to begin with, and my spirits get bigger. Overgrown Tomb. Hey, look, it's an arcane spell. Destroy target non-spirit creature. Red flesh. And then Yosei, the Morning Star. So Yosei, 6 mana 5/5 flyer. With his ability, that's still kind of fair. That's still on par, even with the creep. Got a bit of dust in there. So, Yosei, when he dies, target player skips his or her next untap step, and I tap up to 5 permanents they control. So whatever they have tapped doesn't untap, and then I choose some other stuff and tap it too, and then they're stuck for a turn, so I can smash them with my spirit army. Tour de Commandement, Command Tower. Béchon, I'm not sure how to pronounce this one actually. Réfléchissons? Réfléchissons? I don't know. I spent a lot more time learning how to try to speak French than read and write it. and I didn't get that good at speaking French, so take that for what it is. So anyway, this produces a mana of any color another land I control can produce. So if I have this with my Cuvette de Yavimaya, this can only produce type. So yeah, it can only produce colorless. So not very impressive. Now if I have the command tower, it's a second command tower. And of course this, if I have Horobi out, I can spend green, regenerate a target creature, and kill it. Dies. And if I don't have Horobi out, this just saves my spirits. One at a time. Marsh Flats. Of course, if I have Seedmore Muse, that's one each turn. So, even better. Skyshard Claim. Spend 3 colorless, 1 green. Go find 2 forests and drop them into play untapped. Just get them going. Build your mana base. He who hungers. This guy, when I have a better spirit to put in here, I like the name. I think it's kind of cool, He Who Hungers. But he's 5 for a 3/2 flyer. Okay, I can sacrifice spirit, make somebody show me their hand, and then I can make them discard a card. Only as a sorcery. And he's also got so it's kind of okay. The soul shift is good. If he dies, I can take a spirit that costs 4 or less from my graveyard, put it back in my hand. Sacrifice spirit. I don't have a lot of spirit token generators. I don't have a lot of spirits I want to sacrifice to do that, to make people discard. I don't have anything else that really does anything with discard. He's weak. He costs a lot of mana. So it's kind of a toss-up. But when a better spirit comes along for this deck, yeah, I think He Who Hungers will go into my art binder. I won't get rid of it. 1, he has no financial value, so there's no point in getting rid of him. 2, the memories. I mean, back when this deck was a house, back when it was playing in a less tuned environment, this is a pretty good card. But he's not playing in an untuned environment anymore, and he usually at the table is the slowest, weakest deck. And if I win, it's because I just have more experience with him. I see more lines of play because I've been playing Karador, this version of the deck, for so long. And luck of the draw. If my opponents don't get good draws, and I do, and I can build my board state better, that's when I win. If their decks are firing on all cylinders, and I'm not, then I lose pretty quickly. Anyway, into the Triumph. Swamp. Hanakami. 1 green for a 1/1 spirit. Yeah, so far so good. 1 green, 1 colorless, sack Hanakami. Bring an arcane card from graveyard to your hand so this can get back the Soul Rend. Get back a couple other things too. I think I have... Well, Kodama's Reach is arcane. So she can get back Kodama's Reach and I can go find more land. That's a good idea. Plains. See, even with all the times I've had this deck, sometimes the lines of play, I don't see them in the game. And going through, taking this exercise I'm sharing with you now, makes me think of new lines of play that I didn't see before, or maybe just in the heat of the moment I didn't realize. But now, now I realize it. Plains. Here we go. Iname, Death Aspect. So, this is probably one that had Arashi the Sky Asunder in play. Life Spinner. Sacrifice 3 spirits. Search library for legendary spirit card and put it into play, then shuffle. So, sack 3 spirits. Go find Iname, Death Aspect. When he comes to play, you search library for any number of spirit cards, dump them in your graveyard. If you do, shuffle. So, dump all my spirits into my graveyard, and then Living Death. So this costs no mana to do it. If he's in play and he's ready, I just tap him, sacrifice 3 spirits, so I will have mana available for Living Death. If I've got this guy out, I'm probably at 5 or 6 mana, because I also have to have the other spirits. Him and at least 2 others. I can sacrifice him as one of the 3, but I don't have to. And then, with my graveyard full of spirits, living death, they all come back into play. And then somebody wraths of God, and they all die again. No. That's possible, but that's not what happened last time I did this. Kami of Ancient Law, sack Kami of Ancient Law, destroy target enchantment. Be nice if it said artifact or enchantment, but it doesn't, and it's a spirit, so I take what I can get. Kagamaro, Thirst to Suffer. So Kagamaro, all the Marl creatures, all of them, the Kagamaro, Hokamaro, Yamama Marl, all of them, their power and toughness are equal to the number of cards in your hand, and then they all do something. His do something is black, sack him, all creatures get neg X until end of turn, where X is the number of cards, so he's suicidal. He's a suicidal bastard. Because if I sack him for the number of cards in my hand, well, that's his power and toughness, so he's going to die too. And I have to sacrifice him anyway, so no matter what, he's going to die. Poor bastard. Vorrath Stronghold, all Francais. So, put a creature from a graveyard back on top of my library so he can suffer more. There it is. Canyon Serpentin. So, Winding Canyons. It tasks for colorless or spend 2 until the end of the turn. I can cast creatures as though they had flash. Great with Seedborn Muse, because at the end of everybody, if I'm untapping with everybody, then I'm untapping my lands, and as long as I have creatures in hand, I can play 1 on each player's turn, because I probably won't have mana for more than 1, and I probably won't have that many spirits in my hand anyway. But it will build up my board state a lot faster. Thief of Hope. Whenever you play a Spirit of Arcane spell, target opponent loses 1, you gain 1. So kind of like Blood Artist. Kind of. Not really. I mean, he costs more. He's 2/2. He doesn't fly. He just steals your hope. Haruana. Yes. This is a perfect textbook picture of why Karador is so slow. This is one of my chief draw engines. She costs 4. She costs 3 and a green for a 2/1. Right? And when she comes into play, I get to draw a card. Whenever I play a Spirit Arcane spell, I can bounce her back to my hand. To pay 4 for a 2/1 that lets me draw 1 card, singular, 1. This is the American one, this is the German Czech one. Use your thumb. That's why I'm doing that. So I'm doing this bilingually. And since that's one of the cards I really want early in the game, so I can draw cards, that shows you how desperate I am for good spirits. Planes. Okay, Catilda, Dawnheart Martyr. Have not had her in play yet. I'm really looking forward to see how she works, especially with this rain and protection from vampires. So, her power and toughness equal the number of permanents I control that are spirits or enchantments. Okay, so far so good. She's flying, lifelink for 3. That's really efficient for this deck. My god, is that efficient for this deck. And she's got protection from vampires, which is interesting. Story spotlight, so something in the story. I don't know this story. The story has been coming so fast and so close together that I can't keep track anymore, and I gave up. I should probably find out who the hell Catilda was and what happened to her and why she is protected from vampires, because that's kind of cool. But anyway, in this deck, she's pretty good. She's potentially one of the better cards. Kokusho, the Evening Star. So Kokusho costs 6 for a 5/5. When she dies, I kept calling Karavek's Kokusho he, and I always call Karador's Kokusho she. I think it's a she, but I don't know. It kind of doesn't matter. So I just say Karavek's Kokusho is a dude, Karador's is a chick. I'll just say that to separate the decks more. Something like that. Anyway. So, when she dies, everybody loses 5 life but me. and I gain all that life. Oh shit, time for... Wow, okay. This is part 2. Anyway, so Kokusho, she's good. Gavany Township. If I've got nothing better to do with my mana and I have this in play, I just put counters into all my creatures. Why not? Murmuring Bosk. Comes into play, show up a Treefolk card. There are no Treefolk cards in this deck at all, so it's going to come into play tapped. Murmuring Bosk is basically a Triome in this deck. Comes into play tapped, and if I tap it for black or white, it hurts me. It is what it is. At least it's fetchable. The Immortal Sun. Karador has no planeswalkers. None. 0. Zippo. So, he's got the Immortal Sun. For 6. Players can activate Planeswalker loyalty abilities. Shut off your Planeswalkers. Screw you. And I get to draw an additional card at the beginning of my draw step. Woohoo! For 6 mana. Remember, Hero Ona. Yeah, I need more draw in this deck. Ah, Jesus. My spells are cheaper and my creatures get bigger. So I get cards. I shut down my opponent's shit. My spells get cheaper. My creatures get bigger. What's not to love? Golden Shrine. Signed by Monsieur Alexander. Burgrafter. What does this guy do? Oh yeah, 4 for 2/2. See, Kamigawa came on the heels of Mirrodin, so they pumped up the cost of almost everything in order to slow it down because people are so upset about how fast Mirrodin was. I remember that. I remember clearly people like, God damn, this is so fucking fast. Oh, Jesus. Either they loved it because they're playing Affinity, or they hated it because they're dead in 2 turns. So they slowed down Kamigawa a lot. Sacrifice this dude, target creature gets +2/+2, but he's got Soul Shift, so when he sacks him, when he dies, I can bring a spirit. Oh, I can bring Catilda back. So if Catilda's dead, I don't have to disturb her. I can just bring her back with a dying Burgrafter. Urborg, Tomb Diogzabul. Something interesting. If you look at the German, Urborg, Gras Diogmoth, they spelled his name the English way. For the French card, they changed the name Yawgmoth. They do not spell it the English way, the German way. I haven't looked at the Spanish, Portuguese, or Italian Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth. So, I don't know if the French is an outlier with changing the spelling of Yawgmoth's name, or if the other Latin languages did the same thing. Hey, look, one of my favorite forests. It's just so cool. Swamp, so cool. Forest, so cool. Primordial Sage. Right, so there's a... Oh, what is it? It's from Avacyn Restored. It costs 6. It costs the same. It's a 6/6, but it's not a spirit. Soul of the Harvest. Soul of the Harvest is this. It is Primordial Sage, except it is not a spirit, and whenever you play creatures, you may draw a card. So Primordial Sage is strictly better. It's got higher power toughness. I'm almost positive it's a 6/6. At least it's a 5/5. But I'm pretty sure it's a 6/6 with this ability. But because it's not a spirit, and Karador only has spirits under his command, I run Primordial Sage. Karma Guide. Ah, she's still good. 5 for 2/2, flying, protection black, Echo. I don't like the Echo, but who cares? If I have Karador in play, I cast 1 creature card from a graveyard. If I cast Karma Guide, then she brings a friend with her. She comes into play, and I bring something else back. 2 for the price of 1, so the Echo isn't so bad. Let's say I have a spirit like Kokusho that costs 6. Effectively, for paying 5, I get the Karma Guide back, and then I get Kokusho also. Can't beat that. Wrath of God. Bury all creatures. Look at the guy's ass. Cote Phantom. Ghost Quarter. It's a spirit deck. Ghost Quarter. It fits. Suivi de Plus Apt. I'm sure I'm not pronouncing that correct. So So this is survival of the fittest. So I've got survival of the fittest to throw away creatures and find them from my library. And I've got tortured existence to throw away creatures and pull them out of my graveyard. Okay, I've got it covered, baby. Kadama the East Tree. I have one of these in Kenrith also. So this guy's cool. And I've not had him in play to take full advantage of it. I've had him in play and gotten to play with it a little bit, but not enough as I want to. So 6 for a 6/6. And he reaches. He reaches high, baby. Whenever another permanent enters the battlefield under my control, if it wasn't put on the battlefield with this ability, this one right here, that ability, you may put a permanent card with equal or lesser CMC from hand on the battlefield. So, if nothing else, I play something else. I could play Clarion Spirit. Then I could put a land into play. So, this should put things into play faster. Bigger, better, faster, more. Oh, he's also got a partner. But it doesn't matter because Karador doesn't have a partner, so... Karador's on his own, dude. Clarion Spirit. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token flying. So this is kind of a token generator. Haven't really had him in play. Don't really know what to say about him. He looks cool. 2 for a 2/2, doesn't fly, doesn't do anything. He just makes me spirits if I cast more, 2 or more spells a turn. Although, with Winding Canyons, if I cast 2 creatures on my opponent's turn, then I would get the spirit. And then if I have Seedborn Muse and it untaps, then lines of play. Selfless Spirit. 2 for a 2/1. Sack him. Creature control gain indestructible until end turn. They can't be destructed because there's always more to give. Oh, there's my shiny one. There's my foil one. Some people like to foil out their EDH decks, and for a time I thought that'd be really cool, foil out one of my decks. But then I realized I don't want to foil out my deck because if everything is foil and shiny, then they don't feel as special. So I could get a foil Selfless Spirit, but having random non-foils, of course I want to maximize the foils, having random non-foils, flat cards, makes the foils feel more special, especially with the lands. Even though it would be really cool to have all the lands foil in this deck, when I do find one of the foil ones, it's like, wow, okay, I get to play my foil forest. Here's my second foil swamp. All the rest are flat. They're not foil. And it just makes, differentiates the cards. Lantern Chromatic Lantern. So my lands can tap for mana of any color that I can produce, which is black, green, white. And it also taps for mana. It's really good in this deck. It's pretty good in all my 3-color decks, really. Windborn Muse. So I've got the foil Seedborn Muse, en français, and I forget why I didn't buy her en français, but I bought her in English. Anyway, Windborn Muse. 3 and a white for a 2/3 flyer. Creatures can't attack you unless your controller pays 2 for each creature attacking you. Basically, she's Ghostly Prison or Propaganda. Take your pick, whichever one you like better, with wings and a 2/3 body. Kodama the South 3. Whenever you play a Spirit of Arcane spell, each other creature control gets +1/+1 and trample until end of turn. This guy's done some good work. So, if I can cast 1 or 2 other spirits during my turn, everybody else gets bigger and trample, and then I smash. I've won games with this guy. Remorseful Cleric. Flying. Sack him. Exile all cards to target player's graveyard. 2/1. He's kind of like the guy I just saw, Selfless Spirit. He's kind of like a Selfless Spirit. Is Selfless Spirit a Spirit Cleric? Yeah, they're both Spirit Clerics. They're brothers. They're dead brothers. Their dead brothers under the command of Karador, Kami chieftain. Grave pact. Yeah, I think everybody's familiar. Well, actually, no. No, this card hasn't been... Wait, was it one of the Mystic Archive Super Friends, Secret Friends, Special Editions? Did it get a reprint lately? I think it did. So people probably know about this more. Whenever a creature you control dies, everybody else sacks a creature too. Mystical Plains. Excuse me, comes into play tapped. White tap, put target card in your graveyard on the bottom of your library. Played only if you control 2 or more white permanents. Really don't know why I have this in here anymore. I like the way it looks. Maybe that's why. Lone Dweller. Whenever you play a Spirit or Arcane spell, you may put a land from your hand into play tapped. So this is a way of getting more lands into play. I like this. You know its mood by the plants that spring up around it. When it is placid, fields of lilies flow in its wake. When it is angry, every stem has a thorn. Isao, enlightened bushy. Hey, there's my second foil forest. I think I only have 2. Vault of the Archangel. If I've got nothing better to do with my mana, why not give my creatures Death Touch and Lifelink until the end of the turn? For the low cost of 2 black, white, and tap. Eat that, you bastards. Ancient Tomb. Oh yeah, in the game I was talking about, where I had Burgeoning turn 1, got Yavimah Hollow out, Survival of the Fittest out. I'm pretty sure I had Ancient Tomb out also, and I still lost. Because Hirobi just didn't keep up. But he's still fun to play, and I don't want to take him apart. I just I like having it. Okay, this is Cauldron of Souls. Sheldon Dami. So 5 for an artifact. Tap it, choose any number of target creatures, and they gain persist until the end of the turn. So this serves 2 purposes. One, with Hirobi, this is a mass board wipe, a one-sided board wipe, because I'm not going to target my own creatures. Maybe I'll target Hirobi to get him off the field so I don't get counter-wiped. But with Hirobi, this is a mass kill of my opponent's creatures. Without Hirobi, it's a mass way to have my creatures come back from board wipe, or sacrifice creatures and have them come back to smash people and be sacrificed again. It's a really good card. Highly recommend you play with one. And battery's about to die. Patriarch's Bidding. Everybody choose a creature type. Spirit. Each player returns all creature cards from this type from his or her graveyard to play. So maybe I don't have Living Death in here. Nope, so it was Patriarch's Bidding, not Living Death. That's what I would use with the Soul Spinner. Greater Good. It's good. It looks good. 4 green, sack a creature. Draw cards equal to its to the sacrifice creature's power, then discard 3 cards. So, Cauldron of Souls. Give Kokusho persist. Sack her to Greater Good. Draw 5 cards. Throw away 3 cards. Gain a bunch of life, and she comes back as a 4/4. Sack her. Draw 4 cards. Throw away 3 cards. Gain a bunch of life. Temple Guard. Infernal Corinne. 4 for a 3/3 flyer. Tell me how much you would love to see that in the current set as a rare. Tell me. Whenever you play a Spirit or Arcane spell, target player reveals his or her hand and throws away all cards of that spell's CMC. So if I can cast a few spells in addition to when Infernal Corinne is in play, I can really strip out somebody's hand. Call Me a False Hope. This is a white Spore Frog. Any of you that know Spore Frog, if you've got a white deck and you say, man, I wish I had a Spore Frog for this deck, this is your boy. This is your boy right here. 1 white for a 1/1 spirit. Sack him and fog. And if you can get him back into play. Alright, so my battery died. Looks like I'm splicing together 3 of these. So this is part 3 anyway. I was rambling on about Call Me a False Hope. If you can keep recurring him, as I can with Karador, then every turn you can fog. and keep pissing off your opponents because they can't do anything to you until they exile him and figure out some way to use him, or they gang up against you and the first opponent attacks you with a sufficient amount of force that you have to fog, and then the second guy attacks you with a large force and you don't have a fog. So don't let them gang up on you. Make sure to play them off against each other. Don't let your opponents collude. Wear away. So this is another arcane spell. So I think I've got 3. Soul Rend, Wear Away, and Your Mama's Reach. I think that's the 3 I have. Like I said, for these colors there are not that many good arcane spells. It's something they did in Kamigawa. They did a little bit more with one of the Modern Horizon sets, but it's just not something that they've delved into very often. Probably because they keep playing with fire, and they realize that free spells are kind of playing with fire, and they keep burning themselves on that pyre, but it's interesting. I want to look at this art. Look at that art. Look at the little spirit there ripping that sword to shreds, just wearing it away. Green, destroy target artifact enchantment at instant speed. If you spend 4, you can splice it on an arcane spell and rip apart an artifact or enchantment at instant speed. Okay. I need to get this done, get this posted, get going. Defense of the Heart. 3 green, during your upkeep, if one of your opponents controls 3 or more creatures, sack this, go find 2 creature cards, slap them to play, laugh at your opponents, and then shuffle. Hideous Laughter. Hey, laugh at your opponents. All creatures get -2 at instant speed. So that's 4. That's 4 arcane spells I have. But if I wanted to splice, say, Wear Away onto this, and I'm spending 8. I'm spending 4 for Hideous Laughter, and then 4 to splice on the... That's 8. That's 8 mana. And if I want to splice this onto something, like Wear Away, it's 7. So, either way, this splicing ability, it's mana intensive. But I've got 10th of Discovery to go find Urborg and Cabal Carvers. Did I show you the Cabal? Yeah, okay, it's coming. Sylvan Library. This is a 5th edition Sylvan Library. This is actually white border, but I had my friend Ren extend the borders, and you can tell he did a really good job. I mean, look at that. And I kept asking him to put a sigil, make up a sigil. He loves Japanese culture. He's part Japanese, and he hasn't done it yet. But I told him, when you get a sigil, I'm going to bring back all these cards you've done and ask you to put it on there, because I want your trademark on the cards you did. I want to be able to point to it and tell people who did this, and ideally I want to play this and people to see that and know who did it without me telling them. But he's not done it yet. He doesn't have his sigil. Some people. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Hey, there's the burgeoning. There's the card that Evgeny thought was CADH and was overpowered because I got it turn 1, and I still lost. Forest. Aura Shards. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may destroy an artifact or enchantment. If your opponents have artifacts or enchantments, it's a good idea to destroy them. Typically. This is another card that really needs a reprint, doesn't it? This hasn't been reprinted for a while, has it? I think Commander, maybe some secret lair. Did it get a reprint there? I can't remember. Anyway, shards. So I've got the French Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth. I've got the French Cabal Coffers. So of course Caboffers. Spend 2 black, tap it. You get a black for every swamp you control. If you've got Urborg, all your land swamps, you're getting a lot of black mana. And you can guess Divinity Pride. Hello.
Hello, what's that exactly?
That's an astronaut playing a banjo. On some alien world with metal trees like Mirrodin.
That's weird. What is
Yeah.
that? Is that a bird?
No, what does this say? What is that word?
Spirit?
Spirit.
Spirit. So it's a
What is this
spirit.
word?
Avatar?
Yeah, see, you got that word right. So spirit, avatar.
What exactly is an avatar? A bird?
Avatar is
A bird.
like an incarnation of you, a champion of you.
Okay, so it's
Like
a
an
bird.
avatar of justice would be the embodiment of justice.
Okay, so
An
it's a
avatar
bird.
of chocolate would be the embodiment, the soul and power of chocolate.
Ooh, a chocolate bird? That sounds pretty good.
Well, it doesn't have to be a bird. It can be anything. It could be
A bird.
like a cat. Like, well,
It can be
the
a
avatar of
bird.
chocolate would probably be.
A chocolate monster, which would be a bird.
He'd probably look like Godzilla.
What's a ganzo?
Godzilla is this giant dinosaur that breathes radioactive fire and destroys Tokyo.
Tokyo?
Tokyo, the capital of Japan.
You mean San Tokyo?
No, Tokyo. There's only one Tokyo. There's no San Tokyo.
Okay.
So anyway, this guy, he costs 5. In any combination of white or black. No, he's not a bird. He flies. He's not a bird.
He has
kinda-
wings like a bird, so it's a bird.
He kind of look. He's got a sword,
Well, then it's a
and,
fucking bird.
he's got a cloud coming behind him. His back end is kind of smoke and ghosty. So
Well, because he's a stupid bird. Because he has a little bird brain.
you've got a little bird brain.
You too! You are a fluffball from Canada, like Muta said. Remember?
Yes, I remember Muta.
Yeah, this is a chicken brain, a stupid little chicken brain. Stupid little chicken brain.
Anyway, he's got flying and lifelink. He's a 4/4, and as long as I have 25 more life, which in Commander you start at 40, so he's kind of cheating. But bucket, it's Karador.
Fucking bird.
I need to cheat a little bit. Well, he cheats good for me.
What a fucking bird.
He's an avatar, not a bird.
Doesn't matter, he's still a bird.
You're a bird.
Okay, so I'm gonna fly away and brush my teeth. Don't worry.
Okay, never know. Alright, so that's the video. Let me place these together. Let me get something interesting for the thumbnail. Make sure I get my thumbnail in the thumbnail. What do all of you think of the way I've been doing the thumbnails lately? Do you like it? Is it effective? Does it grab your attention? Does it make you think, wow, I want to see what the hell this guy's talking about? Or does it think, oh, it's just a fucking stack of shitty cards. I don't give a damn. What do you think? Let's see. How about right there?